We're going to start our tarsier with an oval shape. So this is going to be the head. So just draw an oval shape along with me. Don't press too hard because we're going to be rubbing this out in a while. This is just so that we know the preparatory shapes. Next, we're going to be doing another oval shape. This is going to be the body. So just follow along with me. This is going to be slightly larger than the first oval shape. So just a nice big oval shape like this. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always pause the video and rewind. Now for these ginormous eyes. So one big eye here, another big eye here, and a little mouth. We're also going to add some ears. So one ear here. Remember, we're not doing the details just yet. And another ear here. Here today, gone tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to be doing the branch. So it's going to cross over this oval shape slightly. So just draw it at an angle. It's a diagonal line going all the way down. We're going to carry on this line going all the way upwards. It doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky, branches aren't dead straight. We're going to do the other side as well. So roughly about this thickness, going all the way down in parallel to the other line. Now for the little arm, so this one goes up here and then it bends slightly, just like that. Now for the leg, so it's kind of hunched up. So we're going to start it just here and it goes upwards, touches the head, goes back down to there. Now we're going to be doing the bottom part, which is like a V shape. So just follow along like this. Goes down, and it's just a V shape going upwards. Now I'm switching to pen, but please carry on in pencil. This is just so that you can see it better on camera. We're going to be starting off with these humongous eyes. So just draw a circle. And then just next to it, draw another circle. Just like that. And then we're going to be drawing just tiny little bit extra just there and going round this circle a little bit more to make it a little bit thicker and darker. And the same on the other one, a little extra bit there. So tarsiers are small primates that you can only find in Southeast Asia on several of the islands, including Borneo and the Philippines. Right, now we're going to do the little pupil and the same here. Got a little nose and we draw a couple of lines showing that it goes upwards, and then for the little mouth almost looks as if it's smiling. So we're going to give it a little beard underneath the mouth. I'm using dots because it's really furry. Now for the little cheeks, so they're coming out. Again, I'm using dashes to show that this area is really furry. Now I'm going to be doing the ears. So starting here, goes upwards, up like this, and comes round, back inwards. And now for the back of the ear, and for the other side. We're doing the same on the other side. So it comes up, and round. Very delicate little ears. Now we're going to add some more fur. So using tiny little dots, I'm just going slightly inwards here, then coming back to there. And we're going to finish off the cheek on the other side. So they look like a cross between a lemur and a monkey, and they measure between 9 and 16 centimeters, and that's excluding their long tail. I'm going to give it sort of, not eyebrows, but just kind of showing that there's thicker there's muscle underneath here. A couple of dots there. Now we're going down to the foot. And this is very interesting because this is where the name comes from the very long tarsus bones in their feet. So starting here, coming upwards, they've got these super long digits. And on the end, they've got like these little disc-like adhesive pads to help them almost stick to the tree, to help them when they land to grab on. So there's one. There's another one. There's another one. They look a little bit like those sticky sucker things that you have in the bathroom. I think you know what I mean. Leave me a comment if you if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the other one. Comes down and then comes inwards. Now we're doing the joint. This follows this line that we did before to about there. And then here, we're going to join up with this line that we did before as well. Come round to about there. Now we're going to be doing their back. So this actually goes outwards a little bit, then it hits this preparatory line that we did before, and then we'll follow it round. So they're nocturnal like lemurs, and they have the largest eyes relative to body size of any mammal, and they can't actually rotate their eyes, but they can rotate their whole heads 180 degrees, a bit like owls. Okay, we're coming down. We're going to be doing the tail next. So lots of these little dashes to show that it's super fluffy. Here's the tail, and it's going to go behind this branch that we did. And then it's going to poke out the other side. So just drawing it, poking out the other side. And it's going to wrap itself round. So it's just wrapping itself round. More along. And some of them have a kind of a bushy bit at the end. This one does. So just going to add that in. We're then going to finish it off. So just underneath here. Just 2 lines there. We can just make out the little discs of 2 of its digits on the other side. Like so. Now we're going to add the other hands. So this line that we did before, this one's going to go up and upwards like this. And on the base of it, we're going to be drawing the lower part. So it's little pinky. Kind of got these little knobbly bits on their joints. This one's a little bit more extended. This. Can't see it because it's wrapping round. And for the other one, going round. Again, this one's wrapping round the tree branch. This one's going upwards. And then just gripping on like this. The other one just goes behind that tree branch there. Goes inwards and down. We can see a couple of the digits of the other hand wrapping round. So this one's going here. Just poking round. And then one more. So they're the only entirely carnivorous primate, so they don't eat any plants at all. We're now going to put in the tree branch. So make sure it's a bit of a wobbly line if you see what I'm doing. So this bit really doesn't have to be perfect at all. Well, none of it has to be perfect. You're doing a drawing. It's a work of art. We're not doing technical drawing today. So let's come down. Between those digits. All the way down. Make sure not to go over the tail. And around here. And last but not least, we're going to be doing the other side. So just coming around like that. Okay, so if you haven't gone over it in pen, go over it in pen and erase all the pencil marks. These are some of the colours I'm going to be using. I'll probably not use all of them, and really you only need like a light brown, a dark brown, a pinkish or a red that you can blend in, perhaps a black, and that's really all that you actually need. Starting off with my pink, we're going to do its little nose. Just starting off very lightly. Now the trick about colouring pencils is that you just build up layer upon layer. So I'm just going to be going over it and over it and over it loads of times. So just particularly around the facial features, there's quite a bit of pink. Just little circles. And also the ears, kind of giving it a pinkish undertone. And particularly on the little hands. Another interesting fact is that they can jump 40 times their body length in a single leap. It's quite amazing. And then the little digits that are poking out from the other side. And also their feet. And also the tail area. The way along. Doesn't matter if you go over lines, just erase it. That's why we do it quite lightly first. Now my second favourite base colour is this one. So we're just very lightly, I'm going to cover the whole entire animal in this, okay? I'm just going to speed it up. Now we've got a nice base, so we're going to add some detail, particularly to the eyes. So I'm leaving like a gap that's going to be left without any colour, just up here. And also a little one down here. I'm just doing those markings so I don't forget to go over them. Well, I don't want to go over them. And then I'm going from the pupil outwards, making sure I don't go drawing on top of that gap that we left. Adding a bit more yellow. Their eyes are quite a mixture of colours. Now again, I'm going out from the pupil outwards with some brown. The same on the other one. Also using the brown around the eye. Just here and around the bottom. I've actually got a grey that I'm going to use down here. I'm going to go back in and just go over the pupil again. With the grey, I'm just going to do a little bit more. You can use a brown, doesn't have to be a grey. Or you could use a black, very lightly. And particularly around here. So another interesting fact is that pairs of tarsiers sing duets together, and they probably think it's a form of communication to communicate to other tarsiers or warn them that there's a predator nearby or something. Okay, we're going down around here, around the eyes, leaving a slight gap between the eye and the grey or the brown. whichever one you're choosing to use. So coming all the way down. And on the inside of the ear. And on the inside of this side. And particularly underneath the chin. Just round. If there's anyone that's seen the film Gremlins, do you think they based the little gremlins on these things? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so just round here as well. Underneath here, particularly by the tail. And here we're in a lot of shadow, so press quite heavily here. Also on the lower arm and coming onto the hands, some of the digits, not the little knobbly bits on the knuckles and on the joints. They stay quite pink. On the side here, a little bit on here, and particularly on the tail. Can you see how we're building up layer upon layer? Now I'm going back in with this darker pinkish red, just on the legs. A little bit on the nose. And around the eyes, just slightly. There's quite a lot of pinkish red here. So doing a little bit on the fur, just to kind of link in all the different parts. Particularly down here. Now using quite a yellowish red, only in certain places. It's all about blending all the different colours together. I'm going to use this yellow because there's some light shining through behind its ears. Just ever so slightly, not much. And a little bit on the coat. Bit on its little chinny chin chin. And now for the brow. So we're basically going over the areas that we did in grey. So it really is layer upon layer. I'm pressing a little bit heavier now. very dark under the chin. Pressing really hard now. If you've got this far, well done. You're doing so well. See it out to the end. It's going to look amazing. So just coming around. I'm just pressing a little bit lighter now. Same here. I'm covering the whole area, but in some parts I'm going to press heavier. Mainly down the center bit here. And where it's underneath the chin and has a little bit of shadow. There we go. Now for the tail. Just going over this pinkish reddish bit. Kind of link it all together. Now before I add the black, I'm going to add a tiny bit of purple, and you may think I'm mad, but it will just add a little something to it, you know? A little bit of purple, just very lightly, not too much, just enough to give it kind of help achieve the tonal values, the light and the dark. So let me know what your favourite primate is in the comment section below. Maybe this is your new favourite primate. Okay, now with black, we're going to add in the areas of shadow. So I'm really pressing hard now, super hard. There we go, a bit inside here. Tiny bit on top, not pressing too hard on top. Pressing quite hard here on the underside of the digits and really hard here. And also here. Basically anywhere that there's shadow. Just lightly here. Now I'm actually going to use my eraser and kind of blend it using my eraser. Just rubbing it all over. Be careful about the eye area, you don't want to go there. I'm then going back in with my lighter brown. I'm just going over most of it again. Now this part's optional, but if you do happen to have a white, I'm going to press really hard on the lighter areas. If you don't, just skip this section. and obviously in the really white parts. Okay, so all that's left to do is the tree branch. So I'm going to speed this one up. So I've gone over some parts in black pen just to make it stand out, but here you have your finished tarsier. Really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then check out the link here. You're going to absolutely love these videos. Bye.